Okay, everyone. Not a Saturday, but we got a little bit of time. Let's take a look at the underdog market movers. And we're going to make this one quick if we can. It's last chance here, it looks like, for DJ Moore, David Montgomery. You can see they're still rising up the boards. I have this sorted not by day, not by week, but a little bit of a weighted average of those things. But they're at the top of the list here as far as that weighted average goes. Only two players with over 10% increase for the week, and both of them over 1% for the day as well. They are getting closer and closer to the DraftKings ADPs, but they're actually still values. So, but your chance to get that value are shrinking by the day. A bunch of other running backs rising here that we should probably just go over. Mainly, I think we got Najee Harris, Chris Rodriguez, J.K. Dobbins, Brian Robinson, Jordan James rising up the boards here. I'm I don't think now's the time to chase Chris Rodriguez up the board, probably. Like he's at 141. At some point in time, that becomes a dangerous pick if he doesn't get a significant role in that back, like a starting role in that backfield, basically. He's not a pass catcher. And so if he's not getting significant play on early downs and eating into Tootin's role in like a crazy way, 141 starts to get rather expensive, I think, for him. J.K. Dobbins at 105. Um, if he got the starting role there, so Dobbins and Rodriguez are similar bets. It's just that Dobbins has kind of done it. Rodriguez hasn't done it. Dobbins has been injury prone. Rodriguez uh, has now been put on a team with a coach that apparently likes him a lot. So you're kind of betting on different things here, depending on what's going on with these players. Um, they're both starting to get, I think, on the pricey side, especially in drafts like we got going on right now, where people were getting these players for much cheaper before. Dobbins at 115, and earlier for the longest time. Now he's at 105. So maybe sprinkle these players in, but I don't think you want to be chasing these players much more up the board. Kind of crazy that Rodriguez is up 1.4% for the day. And you can look down here, Brian Robinson's only up 1.2% for the day. I think there's a legitimate argument between like Brian Robinson or Chris Rodriguez. I think Chris Rodriguez probably has the higher ceiling, not counting for injuries, just saying just in general, probably the higher ceiling because there's a chance that Rodriguez gets like a starting role. But I think that Robinson probably has the higher floor because he's definitely being brought in to be the backup on that team. And we already know what a backup role looks like. And it's a pretty solid role. Again, one where Tyler Algier was being drafted in the 150s last year. Well, the backup on Jacksonville is a little muddied in that they got two second-year running backs, Tootin and LaQuint Allen, and now they got Chris Rodriguez here. And who knows if Chris Rodriguez doesn't have a passing down role, which is guaranteed essentially the other two backs are better passing down backs. And if Chris Rodriguez doesn't get a large percentage of the early down role, then he kind of just plummets down the boards probably at that point in time. So Rodriguez has a higher ceiling. Robinson has a higher floor. So it makes sense, I guess, maybe that Rodriguez is going earlier, but 47 picks seems rather crazy if you ask me. So I don't know why like Rodriguez is still rising more than Robinson. If it was me at this point in time, I'm probably like passing on Rodriguez, trying to push him a little bit, and knowing that I got outs later on that I like just as much, if not more. So there are your rise, and then Jordan James down here at the bottom. I don't know if I mentioned him, but he's rising as well. I saw him even go in like the second to last round pick in a draft recently. So last chance to get like your cheap Jordan James probably right now, and I do think that's a good pick at the end of the draft. I'd rather have him than some of those rookies that are down there, if you ask me. Let's go to the fallers, and here are your fallers. Puka falling just because he's doing crazy things, and you know, I think Chase is a more fun pick than Nakua a little bit. Just no super strong reasons though. So if you want to draft Chase before Nakua, I think that's totally fine. I think a lot of people are doing that. That's why Nakua is falling down the boards right now. Benson's still falling now in the 200s. Still hard to click. Taylor, first round pick. Lamb, a first round pick. So we got two first round picks on this. like, they are where they're at. Get them when you're where you can get them. You can see they're waffling back and forth a little bit. We have this organized by the biggest fallers for the day, by the way. RJ Harvey still falling down the boards here. Uh, Denver getting Waddle hasn't stopped that fall at all, so he's at 65 now. And I'm still not really clicking him just because of the J.K. Dobbins signing. Harvey in the end of that round starts to sound a little bit more, like something you do a little bit depending on what your build is. Brock Bowers, again, I wouldn't be taking him in the second round. Push him to the third round, unless you are super, 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 super high on Bowers. And I think he's a great pick. I just don't want to be way overweight on him. And it'd be great if he falls, and then you start getting unique combos there in the third round. Penix still falling. I mean, I think I could be wrong, but the last stuff I've read is Atlanta maybe wants to have Penix starting by the end of the year. Isn't that a great pick to have at the end of the year? Is like for the second half of the year, essentially. Let's say he's out for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and Tua doesn't get it done, and then Penix comes in and starts the last 10, 11 games of the season for you and scores on your team once or twice, maybe 3 times. Thank you. He might be the type of quarterback that gets you where like a Daniel Jones gets you. He is young too. He's only in his third year at this point in time. So it could be kind of one of those things where he takes the next step in his growth as well. You never know, but those are things that could happen. We got Trey McBride, another tight end on this board. So both the top tight ends falling a little bit on Underdog. Bowers falling to the end of the second, and McBride now kind of in the middle of the second here. Chance to get unique combos on the tight ends, basically, I think is what it is. And then we got Tyrone Tracy falling because they're still concerned about what the Giants are going to do at running back. If they don't draft Love, I think Tracy, of course, here's a great pick. Jennings falling because he doesn't have a team. Pollard still falling because there's a chance that that Love goes to Tennessee as well. And then these are the here are the Tennessee the Love teams, right? The Giants, the Titans, and the Commanders. And so they're all falling because of the concern there. And only one of them can get Love on their team. And if Love goes to Tennessee, then does Pollard like get released, and then does maybe Pollard go to Washington? So I think Pollard is a good bet, and I've seen him fall a lot from here as well. And so I usually don't take him around this pick. I'm like usually seeing like, okay, can I have him fall to 110 or 120 or something like 110 probably like a whole round or close to a round type of thing, unless there's nothing else that I want. And it happens regular enough to where, again, you can get a fun pick at that point in time. And again, it makes sense to me that if Tennessee takes Love, then Pollard gets cut, and then Pollard has a good chance of signing with Washington. And so I think Krosky Merritt's the riskiest of all these players. That being said, at 137, if that doesn't happen, you got to think Krosky Merritt's gonna rise up the boards a lot. So I think there's value in taking these players at these prices if you're willing to take the boom with the bust, basically with those. Scatabo is on here too, falling actually. Now's your time to get Scatabo, 25% for the entire month, and he's been falling for the day and the week. So he's still falling, but it's maybe slowing a little bit, but still, like you can see in the top 14 here, Scatabo starts to become attractive if at this point, if you don't hear any negative news, which we really haven't heard any negative news. And I've heard like little bits from other people saying that there's some positive things out there. So if Scatterby falls to me, I think I'm taking him. I don't have a lot of them, but we got a month until the draft. And so this is your chance to maybe balance your portfolio a bit and balance your portfolio at the lowest prices possible, which is great. So that's where a lot of these players you can balance your portfolio at the lowest price possible. Like Harvey, he's only probably going to be going lower, but there's only a month again. He can only go so much lower. Um, let's see who else. You can get maybe that one last unique team with McBride. I don't think I need to tell you that. But Tracy, Jennings, Pollard, Krosky Merritt, Diggs, Scatabo. I think these are players that you just want to have like if you are underweight these players because you've seen them just not as great values like the market has, now's your chance to maybe just get them at lower prices, assuming you want to have a balanced portfolio a little bit. So there you go. And then platform values. These are the underdog values according to relative to DraftKings. Walker's been at the top of this chart for a while now, and we still have DJ Moore towards the top here at second, and we still have David Montgomery here as well. But you can see David Montgomery's falling down this chart. He's going to be off this chart in a couple days, most likely. And so again, your last chance to get the best value on David Montgomery. DJ Moore still rising up the board, so he'll start falling, but there's still some room there. Um, Let's see if there's anyone else we want to just hit on briefly here. I like Colby Parkinson as a last round pick. I haven't really found anyone else that likes him as a last round pick, but convince me wrong, convince me otherwise of that. But I feel like as a last round pick, if you're going with a late round tight end group, I think he's a really good pick. You can still get your Josh Allen, DJ Moore stack at a little bit of a value on Underdog. You can't do it at all on DraftKings. It's really expensive on DraftKings if you want to do that. Sauce can almost get it at decent value the other day, and they passed on DJ Moore. Like, what's up with that? Rashee Rice almost into the fourth round here. Uh, doesn't get there in any of my drafts, but I if he gets there, I'm taking him 100%. Um, it seems like there's still a lot of risk with this profile, but there's probably a lot of reward as well. So at some point in time, we got to draft him. He just hasn't fallen to me really in any draft. Luck of the draw a little bit. Joe Burrow. Let's see who else. Anyone else? And then one more tight end on this. Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland getting even closer to the end of the fourth round on Underdog, and getting him in the fifth is pretty sweet if you can pull that off. There are your values for Underdog, and these are all your market movers for the day. Target your last chance to target your David Montgomerys and your DJ Moores. Kenneth Walker seems to be standing still here. So if you like him, he's probably a better, not only a better value on ADP, but just on his profile. He's not going to be a pass catcher, most likely. He's more going to be a touchdown scorer. So probably a better value on Underdog for multiple reasons. Arbitrage these players if you can, get the best value in the right places. Balance your portfolio with some of these players that are going to be at their lowest prices with only a month to go. They're falling, but not falling as fast. So don't go overweight right now. You got 30 days to play with to make the best teams possible. And don't lose track of your risers. See you on the next one. Peace.